Once upon a time, there was a poor shoemaker who lived with his wife. He was so poor that he could no longer buy the leather he needed to make shoes. One evening, he cut out the last piece of leather he had, enough to make one pair of shoes. He left it on his workbench, planning to sew the shoes the next morning. To his surprise, when he woke up, the shoes were already made. They were beautifully crafted, much better than any shoes he had ever made himself. The shoemaker sold the shoes, and with the money, he bought enough leather to make 2 more pairs of shoes. Again, he cut out the leather and left it on his workbench overnight. And again, the next morning, he found the shoes already made. This continued for several nights. The shoemaker and his wife were curious about who was helping them. One night, they decided to stay up and hide in the workshop to see who their mysterious helper was. At midnight, they saw 2 tiny elves come into the workshop. The elves were dressed in old, ragged clothes. They set to work immediately, sewing and stitching the leather with incredible speed and skill. The shoemaker and his wife were amazed and grateful. They decided to do something kind for the elves in return. The wife made little clothes and shoes for the elves, and the shoemaker made tiny tools for them. The next night, they left the gifts on the workbench and hid again to watch. The elves came in and were delighted with the new clothes, shoes, and tools. They put them on and danced around the workshop in joy. After that night, the elves never returned, but the shoemaker and his wife continued to prosper. They made enough money to live comfortably and were never poor again. They always remembered the kindness of the elves. The story of the elves and the shoemaker teaches us about the importance of kindness and gratitude. The shoemaker and his wife were kind to the elves, and in return, the elves helped them in their time of need. It also shows that even the smallest acts of kindness can make a big difference. The elves' small act of making shoes transformed the lives of the shoemaker and his wife. The shoemaker and his wife never forgot the elves and their kindness. They often spoke of them and told their story to others, spreading the message of gratitude and kindness. The elves, though they never returned, left a lasting impact on the lives of the shoemaker and his wife. Their story became a legend in the village, reminding everyone of the power of kindness. The shoemaker's business continued to grow, and he became known for his high-quality shoes. People came from far and wide to buy shoes from him, and he always credited the elves for his success. The shoemaker and his wife lived happily ever after, always remembering the magical nights when the elves came to their aid. They were grateful for the help they received and always tried to help others in return. The story of the elves and the shoemaker is a timeless tale that has been passed down through generations. It reminds us that kindness and gratitude are virtues that can change lives. So whenever you feel down or in need of help, remember the story of the elves and the shoemaker. A little kindness can go a long way, and you never know when it might come back to you in unexpected ways.